HOA built 58 houses on my ranch without rights, so I flooded their streets in retaliation. Have you ever wondered what you'd do if someone took what was rightfully yours and turned it into their playground? For Clara Hensley, a 62-year-old rancher in the heart of Texas, that wasn't just a hypothetical. It was her reality. Her sprawling 200-acre ranch, passed down through 3 generations, was her sanctuary until a power-hungry HOA decided to claim it as their own. They built 58 houses on her land without a shred of legal right, and when Clara fought back, they laughed in her face. But Clara wasn't one to back down. What she did next sent shockwaves through the community, leaving streets underwater and egos shattered. Clara's ranch was more than just land. It was her legacy. Her grandfather had tamed the wild plains, her father had nurtured its fields, and Clara had spent her life tending to its cattle and crops. The land was her heart, etched with memories of early mornings watching the sunrise over the hills. But in 2023, a developer, backed by a newly formed HOA, saw her ranch as prime real estate for a gated community. Without her consent, they forged documents claiming a portion of her property fell under their jurisdiction. Before Clara could blink, bulldozers were tearing up her pastures, and 58 cookie-cutter houses were rising where her cattle once grazed. When she confronted the HOA board, led by a smug real estate mogul named Karen Whitaker, they dismissed her claims. "Your land's part of our community now," Karen sneered at a town hall meeting, waving a falsified survey. "You're welcome to join user leave." Clara wasn't about to let her legacy be stolen. She hired a lawyer, dug into property records, and discovered the HOA's claim was built on lies. The survey they used was a fabrication, and the county had no record of her land being annexed. Armed with this truth, Clara marched to the HOA's office, a sleek building on what used to be her northern pasture. She demanded they halt construction and vacate her property. Karen, perched behind a glass desk, laughed. "You're out of your depth, old lady," she said. "This is progress. Your little farm can't stop it." The board's lawyer, a slick man named Greg, chimed in, warning Clara that fighting them would bankrupt her. They even had the audacity to offer her a generous buyout, pennies on the dollar, for her stolen land. But Clara had an ace up her sleeve. A local ally named Javier, a retired surveyor who'd worked for the county for 30 years. Javier had stumbled across the HOA's shady dealings while reviewing old plats for a friend. He confirmed Clara's property lines were intact and offered to testify. Together, they built a case, gathering affidavits from neighbors who'd seen the HOA's strong-arm tactics. One neighbor, Mrs. Ellison, a quiet widow, revealed a twist. Karen had bribed a county official to push the forged survey through. Mrs. Ellison had overheard the deal at a local diner and recorded it on her phone. "I thought it was wrong," she whispered to Clara, handing over the audio. This bombshell turned Clara's fight from a long shot to a potential knockout. The confrontation came at a packed county courthouse hearing in spring 2024. Clara's lawyer presented the evidence: the forged survey, the bribe recording, and Javier's expert testimony. Karen, dressed in a pristine white suit, tried to spin a tale of clerical errors and community benefits. But the judge wasn't buying it. The room buzzed as Clara took the stand, her voice steady but trembling with emotion. "This land is my family's blood and sweat," she said. "You don't get to steal it and call it progress." The crowd erupted in applause, and even the judge cracked a smile. Karen's face turned scarlet as the truth unraveled. The judge ruled in Clara's favor, declaring the HOA's claim invalid and ordering the houses removed. Gasps filled the courtroom. 58 families were now caught in the crossfire of Karen's greed. But Karen wasn't done. Furious at the ruling, she rallied the HOA's residents, claiming Clara was a bitter old woman trying to destroy their homes. The HOA retaliated, dumping construction debris on Clara's remaining land and harassing her with anonymous threats. One night, a group of teenagers egged her farmhouse, spray painting "Move Out" on her barn. Clara's patience snapped. She remembered the old irrigation system her father had built, a network of channels that could divert water from a nearby creek. In a move as bold as it was controversial, Clara opened the floodgates literally. Water surged through the channels, flooding the HOA's pristine streets, turning their manicured lawns into muddy swamps. Cars stalled, basements filled, and residents waded through ankle-deep water, cursing. Clara stood on her porch, watching the chaos unfold, a mix of triumph and guilt in her chest. The fallout was swift. Karen and the HOA board were vilified. Social media exploded with posts calling it the Great Ranch Rebellion. Some residents, unaware of the HOA's illegal actions, were furious at Clara, accusing her of ruining their lives. Others, learning the truth, turned on Karen, demanding her resignation. The county launched an investigation into the HOA's practices, uncovering a web of corruption that led to Karen's arrest for fraud and bribery. The 58 houses, built on stolen land, were condemned, leaving families displaced and the developer bankrupt. Clara's land was hers again, but the victory was bittersweet. She hadn't wanted to hurt innocent residents, only to reclaim what was hers. She offered to help relocate families, even donating part of her land for temporary Huizenga gesture that won back some goodwill. In the end, Clara's stand became a legend in the county. Her ranch, scarred but hers, stood as a testament to fighting for what's right, no matter the odds. Karen, once the queen of the HOA, faded into obscurity, her reputation drowned in the muddy waters of her own making. Clara rebuilt her fences, planted new crops, and every sunrise felt like a promise kept to her family. Her story spread, inspiring others to challenge overreaching HOAs, to dig for the truth, and to stand their ground. What would you have done in Clara's shoes? Was her retaliation a step too far? Or was it the only way to make the HOA pay for their crimes? Share your thoughts. Where do you draw the line between justice and vengeance?